Hello my fellow garden gals and guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden in a zone 4B in central Minnesota. So today I'm just going to be showing you around my garden a bit. We're just at the end of July, so we're in about 2 more weeks. I'd say that's like peak week in my garden. So we're getting close. There's a lot of stuff that just started blooming I want to show you. There's also a couple holes in my garden that have perennials that still need to grow in, so I bought a couple annuals just to pop in, some caladiums, and I want to show you that. I also have a little hole to fill in my hosta garden, so I got a hosta here. I was looking for a mini hosta, but they didn't have any at the store, so I got the smallest hosta I could find. So this is a lakeside cupcake. It's really pretty. It's got a little bit of damage on it, but it'll look great next year. Let's see, lakeside cupcake gets to be just 5 inches tall and 10 inches wide. So I have a little hole that I'll fill over in my hosta garden, and I'll give you guys a little tour of that, and I'll kind of take you up front and in the back and give you an update on my cut flower garden as well. So stay tuned. Thanks guys, happy gardening. Welcome to my garden back here. This little corner is partial sun. I have a couple things I want to show you here. The native elderberry is just starting to berry up. So these will turn into purple berries that the wildlife just loves. So these will grow in there. I have some ajuga and astilbe that are on their way out, so I decided to pop in a couple caladiums over here I'll show you. We have a few perennials that still need to fill in. So I didn't want to put more perennials back here. I just wanted to fill some holes. But let me show you this. First, love Veronica. Look at the pollinators, just love it. And this Calamintha, the pollinators love as well. It's not fully in bloom yet, but highly recommend. So check out one of these caladiums I popped in here. This is a proven winner's heart to heart caladium. This variety is called Lemon Blush. There's an orange marmalade hosta there that will fill in quite nice. Just behind it, I just popped in this coleus. It is like a lime and chartreuse color. That'll fill in nice. It just kind of brightens up the area. We have this tall Garden Phlox, just on year 2, so it still needs to fill in, but it's a gorgeous lavender color. And just behind that is some ivory halo dogwood that I love. This will grow into about 4x4. And we have some Sun King Aralias, of course. More First Love Veronica. And just in front of that, another caladium, proven winners. I believe this one's called Radiance. So it's really eye-catching from afar. This is some Aztec Gold Creeping Veronica. So this will get purple flowers. Here's a Dancing Queen hosta and a Firelight Hydrangea. This is new, so it's still small. There's just bugs buzzing all over the place here. So it's just about to turn a little pink there. Can't wait. We have some sombrero salsa coneflower. Very pretty. And we have the Golamium. This is year 1 on this, so it hasn't filled in yet, but it's very pretty. It really brightens up the area, as you could see. So yeah, it's just a little bit about my garden. It's fairly new, just about 2 to 3 years old. Mostly clearance plants. So just give you kind of a 360 here. And I'll take you up to my front bed first. I haven't showed you guys this in a little bit. So there's crab apples in this front bed. It's lined with the Silver Mound Artemisias on the right. And there's these Millennium Alliums in the front. They're just budded up, not in bloom yet. Let me take you over here to show you what's blooming though. I have 3 different varieties of tall Garden Phlox. These are year 2. Look at this color. This one is called Baby Doll Pink. Now, these were all from Lowe's, just their like generic variety. But I think they're going to look quite nice back here. I got a couple new plants that I just popped in, so they gotta fill in. We got dianthus and all sorts of plants up here. Here's a little closer look at the Millennium Alliums. These will probably bloom, oh gosh, in about 2 weeks. That's when my garden is about peak for me, about week 2 of August usually. But look at these silver artemisias. This one's called Valerie Finis. So pretty. We have some lamb's ear, we have some catmint, and on the left there, that is Sedum matrona. So this will flower pink in a few weeks. Very easy plant. Highly recommend. I do need to cut the catmint back. Let me show you the coneflowers here. These are the old-fashioned Madness coneflowers. They are gorgeous. They're pretty tall, like almost waist high, and they self-seed, so they kind of spread a bit for me, so that's good. I want them to spread up here. Just gorgeous, and I love it in front of... This is Artemisia sunfern. And just behind that is a golden spirit smoke bush, one of my favorite shrubs of all time. Very easy. It can get 6 by 6, but it just glows. And look at the Wichita blue junipers just behind it. I'm really happy with how this bed is turning out. It's very dry. So all these plants seem really happy. I'm kind of moving out the plants that weren't really happy here and just kind of putting in drought tolerant only. So there's more Millennium Alliums over here. Here's a Baptisia that is forming its seed pods. It's in the legume family, so you can see the seed pods there. They're really cool looking. I love Baptisia. So pretty in the spring. It can get 4 feet tall. Here's a hosta bed. I did a hosta tour a couple weeks ago. I'll put a link there if you want to see individual names. Here's that same caladium, that lemon blush that I put in a container, shade container. It's got a coralline in the back and some dichondra silver falls. This is just my retaining wall. Nothing's really blooming right now. We have some hosta, we have some dianthus. And I will also put a link to a video I did about 2 weeks ago redoing this garden bed. This is all shade to part sun annuals I put in. The impatiens are doing amazing. We have coleus, we have begonias. Everything is loving it. So if you want the individual names, you can watch that video. Here's my little lime hydrangeas. These are about as big as they're gonna get. Now, these are the latest blooming hydrangeas, so about mid-August, but these blooms will be huge. So they're very eye-catching. I can't wait till that happens. Here's my side yard. We have a little arbor here full of clematis. It's done blooming. We have Diablo 9 bark on the left. Trying to form a hedge there. So this is just a skinny side yard. I put a winding path here, 2 to 3 years old. We have a lot of like rock garden type plants on the right. And we have, oh, all sorts of other plants on the left here. Let me show you. This is Atlantis sedum. And we have some zebra iris there that's done blooming. Check out this Atlantis sedum though. Isn't it gorgeous? There's so many different foliage colors in there. Some are variegated, some are just pale yellow, right next to the scabiosa. I love purple blooms next to gold foliage. I think it works out very well. Well, behind this lupin here is a Cheyenne Spirit coneflower. I love the color of Cheyenne Spirit. It looks like a sunset. Very pretty. And this tall lupin actually has some seed pods on top, which I'll let go to seed there. It's just in front of this jade butterfly dwarf ginkgo tree. I love the foliage on this tree. It's one of my favorites. So as you could see, the rock garden type bed here, it really has a lot of succulents in here. We also have some miniature evergreens. There's a cactus over here, a cold hardy cactus, prickly pear. So this does overwinter here in zone 4B. We have a pincushion cypress there, just next to the Scotch moss. We have various sedums and sempervivums here. I can't wait till this blooms. These sedums will bloom in just a few weeks, and it is just so gorgeous. Look at these. This is a snowflake Celine. Just pops. More Scotch moss. We have blue mouse ears hosta in the back. And check out this sedum. This is called Himalayan Skies. It's just this light blue. It spreads, very easy plant. So pretty. I love my mini hostas too. So, and the other side here, the quickfire hydrangeas are in bloom. These will get 8 feet tall and wide, hopefully. Very dainty blooms. They don't get weighed down with the rain, so they're pretty. They will kind of turn to a blush color as well. We have some yarrow in front here. Started as a magenta color. It's kind of getting bleached out. And some Roseanne geranium just behind that. This kind of winds around. It's kind of vine-like, but it is a very long bloomer, late spring to fall. Very easy plant. And these are serendipity alliums. They're just like the millennium alliums, but the foliage is a little more blue. And it looks like they might be a week before the millenniums. And we have some blue arrow junipers over here, just trying to establish some privacy there from the neighbors. We have some lupin that's on its way out there, and in the center that is a gold lamium, which is new, so it still needs to fill in that area. And I kind of just repeated the pattern over here. We have all sorts of things in this bed. A lot of sempervivums. Some are blooming. They're just such funky blooms. I love it. We have some blue spruce sedum there. And on the left there, that is Euphorbia, donkey tails spurge, I guess it's called. More Scotch moss, a miniature arborvitae, more sempervivums. This blue sedum here is called Blue Elf, and it actually blooms pink. Behind that is an ice plant. I just put it in this year, and it has really spread. So I might be taking some of that out, but it's very pretty nonetheless. Another sempervivum that's in a death bloom here. Blue fescue. Looks like a sea urchin. And a few more sedums over here. And sempervivums. This doesn't get much light, so I'm really happy everything's working out over here. And this is mostly hosta bed. A lot of this is brand new. We have some tiarella and heuchera. There's a dancing queen hosta on the right. Here's some nannyberry viburnums. They are just starting to berry. I highly recommend viburnums if you have a place that's a bit shaded, that you need some shrubs. And they have a gorgeous fall color. So I am going to pop that Lakeside Cupcake hosta in over here. And like I said, I do have a full hosta tour if you want names of all these hostas. This is one of my favorites here. This is called Seducer. Second year, so it's still small. So I won't spend too much time over here. And this is my cut flower and veggie garden path. It is lined with ping pong purple gomphrena. We have some royal candles, Veronica, just behind that. It needs to be cut back soon, but the pollinators are still all over it, so I'm just kind of holding out. As you could see, that little bumblebee there. Very cool structure. Love the texture. This is one of my only full sun hostas, but this is a fragrant bouquet hosta. Look at how gorgeous the flowers are. It almost looks like white Thalia daffodils. Very pretty. We have Sutherland Gold elderberries back here. Everything is just looking great. Those Sutherland Gold elderberries really pop. There's a hibiscus I'll show you in the back there, a little bit closer. We have some toad lilies here. They're variegated and they'll look like little orchids when they bloom. They love moisture, and this is kind of a moist bed. Here's a button bush. This is what it looks like when it's done blooming. It just has like the leftover buttons, I guess you can call them. We have Joe Pyeweed back here. We got that Cerbifolia stem. This spreads. This is the property line here, and I kind of want stuff that just takes off because there's a lot of stinging nettle weeds on my neighbor's property. So I also put this Queen of the Prairie Filipendula in. This will kind of take over back here as well. Very pretty. It'll fill in. It's kind of floppy right now. It's first year. I got like 4 of these Gateway Joe Pyeweeds over here. These get about 6 feet tall. These are new. So I just kind of want to line my bed with natives that'll take off. Here's that hibiscus. This is called Mars Madness. Aren't these gorgeous? Look at the size of these. They're like dinner plate size. And it's full of buds. The reason why I went with this plant is because it gets pretty large. It gets about 5 feet tall and up to 7 feet wide. Look at all the buds on this. They last about a day. But there's always something blooming now. Now we're at the end of July here. So gorgeous. I love the foliage color. Looks great next to the elderberries. We got more Veronica over here. This is the pink Veronica. Bumblebees. Veronica's got to be one of my favorites. So, very easy. And we are to the back here again. This is some Siberian iris. We have this penstemon that's done blooming. I'm just going to leave the seed heads on there. I think they're kind of pretty. Now, if you're looking for a false ash leaf spirea here, this one stays compact. This one's called matcha ball. So this will just get a couple feet tall and wide. It's a first editions plant. So that won't spread. Here's some powwow wildberry coneflowers. I love the color on that. It's a little bit darker than the Magnus old-fashioned coneflowers. This is a clearance plant I got. This is Monrovia's version of a little lime hydrangea called candy apple hydrangea. So, very nice. We got a lot of clearance plants back here. These are new beds, so I'll probably show you guys these more next year as they fill in. A lot of those clearance plants don't look good until year 2, so. But gosh, just for a couple dollars, you can save so much money. Let me show you this amaranth. It is like 5 feet tall already. This is Love Lies Bleeding. Now these will get long and droopy blooms like that. I'm going to insert some footage just a couple days ago of a little tree frog that was on this plant right here. Can you guys see that little tree frog there? I apologize for my shadow. It was really a tough shot to get because of where the sun was, but I just love the nature back here. It is just amazing to watch. I love it. This is part of the ecosystem, and you could just see all the wildlife and pollinators, and so fun. Cute little guy. And this is like the front of the cut flower garden. This is more of like a formal bed here. This is really taking off now. We have my absolute favorite raspberry kismet coneflowers. They're just my favorite color. So pretty. We have some raspberry double scoop over here too. I need to stake these up because we had a storm come through, but very prolific. Second year. And this is Agastache. This one's called Blue Fortune or Anise Hyssop. Now, if you're looking for a plant that is going to attract the pollinators, go for this one because out of all the plants in my yard, this attracts the most pollinators of any plant. And just next to it, we got this tall, this is about 6 feet tall, second year Meadow Liatris, just starting to bud up. Wild looking. Last year was a bit thicker, so we'll see. It needs a few years to kind of get established. More raspberry kismet coneflowers. We have some blazing star liatris, and this is a delphinium that's starting to rebloom. It already had one really good bloom at the beginning of July. Blazing star liatris here is just starting to fizzle out. More delphinium I just cut back. Here's another blazing star liatris that will be like a pinkish purple color. Just starting to open. Really attracts the pollinators as well. More white. And this one's another Cheyenne Spirit. Love that color, coneflower. And that's a neon burst dogwood. Just wanted some gold right here on the corner. Ping pong purple gomphrena lining the other side of this path. Now we're stepping into the cut flower and veggie garden. Let me just show you what's blooming right now, all these zinnias. And look at, there's a butterfly there. I believe it's a spice bush butterfly. But correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows. This zinnia is called Mazurkia. It's one of my favorites. And I just cut all the blooms off like a week ago. This all rebloomed. It's so nice to always have fresh flowers inside. I always have fresh flowers in my office and in my kitchen. It's just great. And look at these. This is another one I really love, Pink Senorita. I think I'll do these again next year as well. For just a couple dollars for a seed pack, and you just direct sow them directly in your soil. I apologize for my shadow here. Couldn't get a really good shot of this, but this one is called Queen Lime Blush. So it's like a greenish that turns blush. Very pretty. And the last zinnia I have here is called Polar Bear. These are all white, but they get pretty big. Check out the size of this when I put my hand next to it there. Very pretty. And last but not least, I just want to show you my showy mountain ash. Now this bloomed white in spring and now it's starting to berry, and these berries will get orange. So pretty. So I hope you guys like that tour. Take care and happy gardening, everyone. See you next week.